Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Jason Cappuccino of Sashes&Scripts, where you get relevant news and updates as well as fearless views on issues related to pageantry. Before we begin, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell for more pageant-related content. So recently, the Miss Universe Philippines has released the runway challenge videos of the 75 remaining hopefuls. Apparently, isa sa mga naging dahilan di umano kung bakit nirelease nila agad yung mga videos na to several days after releasing the swimsuit images, photos of the remaining 75 girls is because of the leakages na nangyari on the videos wherein they placed the said runway challenge videos on a shared Google Drive. And for everyone who is in the know on how Google Drive works, if you put access, if you give access to a certain folder so that everyone can view, can edit, and can manage that folder, anyone who has the link can actually view and download videos or content from that folder. So isa ito dun sa mga hindi inaasahan na nangyari, pero naging catalyst tuloy ng paglabas ng runway videos ng mas maaga. What we've noticed in these 75 videos is yung paggamit nila ng little black dress, the LBD. Although we find it, very uniform across all girls wearing black dresses, kung minsan may mga videos na hindi ugma yung sinusuot na itim na dress with the background of the video. And I think some of the girls who actually selected these dresses, medyo hindi naisip kung babagay ba yung outfit with the setting. And I think that's one of the things that moving forward, some of the candidates should try to think about. And also for those girls who opted for a night setting for their videos, bumagay tuloy yung little black dress with those kind of setting. Kaya some of the girls really stood out in terms of being very strategic in choosing their settings, their videography for the runway challenge. So one of the things that we've also noticed is that some of the front runners seem to have pulled back or held back in terms of their performance for their videos, and nagmukha tuloy na watered down yung kanilang mga pasarela. Although we all knew from experience that they are more capable of doing something more in terms of their rap skills. I know na pwedeng strategy nila ito para hindi ma-overpower kaagad yung mga fans doon sa ipinakita nilang performance, para meron pang aabangan ang mga fans. However, may mga pageant veterans na even if they held back, makikita mo na swabe at pulido yung kanilang mga lakad. And I think those are the things na that separates the pageant veterans from the newbies. Now, as for the fan favorites, the voting favorites, like Kirsten Delavine, Maureen and Ain Bernos, I think that their status as newbies in pageantry shown in their videos. Makikita mo na hindi pa ganun ka powerful, ka-impactful ang kanilang mga lakad, and that they needed more training on the walking itself. Kapansin-pansin din kasi na karamihan ng mga girls who had a little bit weak on the walk, idinaan nila sa videography, idinaan nila sa camera angles, idinaan nila sa pag-focus sa upper torso or sa face yung kanilang mga videos, which I find a little bit off, considering that what we're looking at is a runway challenge, and thus, because of the name itself, it should have been implied na ang makikita natin ng puro is how these women walk. And ang nakikita natin is projection, and more projection instead. So I think doon mo makikita kung sino yung komportable sa rampa. Doon mo makikita kung sino yung fluid ang performance when it comes to walking. And makikita mo that among all the girls, there were several ladies who stood out simply because very suabe yung kanilang presentation ng kanilang mga lakad. Another thing that I wanted to point out with the three fan favorites is that regardless of whether they perform well or not in this challenge, I think na papasok pa rin sila sa top 30 or sa top 50, which is the next cut, simply because they have the fan support, they have the machinery behind them, helping them out. Kasi kung wala ang fan voting, I think they might get slipped towards the latter end of the list kung walks lang ang pagbabasihan. And I'm not saying na hindi ito pwede pang masolusyonan. I think they still have time to practice. As long as they keep on practicing and polishing their walks, pwede pa itong ma-improve. My only criticism is that because this is a runway challenge, then we have to judge the ladies based on technical skills on their walks. Now, as for the women who we believe that had the strongest runway challenge videos, ang pinagbabasehan natin dito is yung performance ng walks instead of kung gaano kaganda ang video. Ang nangyayari kasi, karamihan ng mga candidates na medyo hindi ganun kagalingan pagdating sa paglalakad, idinadaan na lang sa video effects, dinadaan na lang sa camera angle, sa muka, para hindi masyado makita yung weakness ng kanilang mga lakad. And I think for those who have their eyes trained for this, mahahalata mo yung pagtatago nila sa aspetong ito. And moving on to the list, at number 5 we have Katrina Di Maranan, who is arguably one of the most buzzed ladies among pageant fans. And the reason for her making into our top 5 is that makikita mo na she was holding back a bit on her walk, pero makikita mo that she has the traces of a good solid walk. I think that had it been that the setting of her video was a little bit more, a little bit more glamorous, or a little bit better in terms of visuals and backgrounds, she would have moved a little bit higher on the list. At number 4, we have Jasmine Umali, who we are not surprised because we expect na komportable siya sa rampa, sa paglalakad, and we were not disappointed because we saw in her one of the more solid, one of the more tight na walks in the entire 75 na videos that we've seen. And ang maganda kasi dito sa kanya is that there was a good enough balance of projection and angles, facial angles, and the same time focus on the feet and the walk. Nang makita natin na yung strides niya are very well coordinated. And then at number 3 we have Janela Joy Quaton, who had one of the best projections facial wise in the video challenge. I would have wanted sana na mas marami pang focus on how she walks, a little bit more strong videography while she's walking, kasi mas nadadaan niya sa aura yung kanyang video. Although when you look at the portions na kanyang video na pure walking lang, na naglalakad lang, makikita mo na she's prepared for the pasarela challenge. Makikita mo na nandun yung mga ugat ng magandang lakad. And my hesitancy to put her higher in the video is that nakulangan lang ako doon sa amount of walking parts in her video, na sana nakita natin mas close up ng kanyang legs, ng kanyang strides, ng kanyang foot on kung paano dumadampi ang heel and toe niya sa pavement or sa floor. Kaya nang mas mabigyan natin ng better judgment sana kung her walk is at par with the top two in terms of strength and in terms of impact. At number 2 is Leren May Bautista, who we are not, surprised at all, simply because ang fluid niyang maglakad. And we've seen how Leren performs time and time again kay Mutya, kay Binibining Pilipinas, kay Miss Globe. And we've seen her having one of those well-calculated moves na hindi niya kinakailangan ng sobrang OA na hand movement, na hindi niya kinakailangan ng masyadong bonggang pasabog na outfit just to have a strong runway video. Although may masasabi din natin na ang ganda ng packaging ng kanyang video, maganda yung setting and location where they chose kung saan gawin i-video yung kanyang pasarela. Maganda din yung suot niya, yung how she was styled for the video. Hindi masyadong over the top yung hair and makeup. It didn't take away from the entire presentation ng kanyang pasarela. And I think this is one of the most, if not the best, well put together na video in terms of quality, in terms of styling, in terms of overall, videography. Ang masasabi ko lang is that the reason why she was at number 2 is that very malumanay yung kanyang presentasyon ng kanyang lakad, that naumusan siya ng ating number 1 on the list simply because our number 1 at the list has more power in the video. And that's why at number 1 we have Steffi Aberasturi, who basically slayed the runway challenge. And what we liked about the entire video is that her video was shot on location on an unfinished bridge in Cebu that's connecting to the island of Mactan. Ang maganda kasi dito is that nakita mo na the entire bridge, yung how the camera angles, how the drone flew over the entire location while she was walking, super ganda. And the thing that makes Steffi the best in the list is because she didn't hold back in terms of her performance in the video. Kumbaga, she gave it her all. You've seen that she has rhythm in her walk. You can see how powerful her walk is. Makikita mo na ito, pag itinabi mo dun sa mga supermodels na super impactful yung kanilang mga lakad, like Giselle Bonchen, hindi siya mawawala, hindi siya magpapalamon in terms of that in that aspect. What I like especially with this video is that yung ginamit na mga damit ni Steffi actually adds to the movement in her video, because the fringe, the extra fabric that is blowing in the wind, all added into the impact of her video. It also helped that she had her hair in a ponytail or in a loose curls, and hindi niya hinayaan na yung hangin would become an issue kung saan she was thrown off the game. That didn't happen. And among all the girls, siya yung tipong nag-claim ng supremacy niya in the competition. And I won't be surprised that later on, mga pageant fans will be talking more and more about how Steffi performed in this challenge. So in the next few days, pageant fans will be talking more and more about the runway challenge, and hindi katakataka that the pageant veterans would dominate the conversation, simply because sila yung mga nag-perform talaga when it comes to this challenge. And I wouldn't be surprised as well to see if later on it's the likes of Katrina, Jasmine, Janela Joy, Leren, and Steffi who will be on the top picks of every pageant site and pageant page. So for now, I think that the best thing that the pageant veterans can do is milk this moment and make sure that they follow through their social media ng mga additional na mga behind the scenes postings ng kanilang mga videos, kasi strike while the iron is hot ika nga, di ba? That's it from my side. I hope that you subscribe into my channel, and let's meet each other again in the next video. Bye everyone, and take care.